months, I've seen a lot of new traders come into the market. People that have lost their jobs, people that are looking for extra income now that we're all in a quarantined environment, people that are close to retirement that are worried about their 401ks and 403bs and IRAs that have basically gone through the ringer, rebounded, and now we're kind of in this wait and see mode, and people are confused. And so I want to give you 3 pieces of advice that I wish that I had when I first started trading 20 years ago. Now, this first piece of advice is to simply figure out your goal. And as obvious as that sounds, that's something that I wasn't clear on when I first started out. My goal back then was you have money, you put it in, and more magically pops out the other end. So my goal, make money. That is not clear enough. You want to go into it as, I want this to be my full-time income, or I'm replacing a full-time income, and then to know, well, how much does that mean that you need to make? Then is this for supplemental income? Is this for retirement? Well, what kind of time frames are we dealing with here, and how long are you going to give yourself to achieve that goal? Are we talking a couple of months, a couple of years to get to this goal? Where are you starting from? If you are a brand new trader, you probably want to give yourself about a year to learn this craft. And I know that that's probably not what you're hoping to hear, and you might be tuning out right now, but that's the truth of it. You are starting a brand new career, and if you want to trade where you're actually making consistent gains, give yourself a year. And not only that, give yourself a year of studying 20 hours a week. Right? Like that's basically going through a master's level program, an accelerated master's level program, and that's what you're getting yourself into. You are competing with some of the best people in the world, and you need to have that level of experience. Just signing up randomly for somebody's 3-week course or some trade alerts, that's not going to cut it. You need to put in the work to make this happen. So after you've figured out what your goal is, the next thing that you're going to want to do is model success. Find somebody that has actually achieved the goal that you've set for yourself, and now model what they're doing. Now, there was a big mistake that I made with this too when I first started out. One of the people that I finally found that I wanted to model this guy's success that made a lot of sense to me. This guy, William O'Neill. He wrote this book called How to Make Money in Stocks, and he clearly outlined this whole recipe for what makes a leading growth stock, when to buy it, how much to risk, how to gauge the overall health of the market, and everything just made sense to me. So I'm like, I will follow this to the letter and treat it like a cookbook. Well, it doesn't work that way, because you cannot clone somebody else. You need to have your own style to do it. That doesn't mean that you can't learn from other people, but you're basically building your own, what's going to be your own methodology. And when you think about anybody that's actually gone out and written these books that have had massive success, like a William O'Neill, like a Mark Minervini, like a Nicholas Starvis or Jesse Livermore, if you've heard of these people, they've all have learned from others, but then they've also taken it and have made it their own. That's what you need to do. So don't go out there trying to clone somebody else's style. Learn from them, take what works, and apply it to yourself. Then take a little bit from somebody else, apply that to yourself. It's basically like the way that Bruce Lee came up with Jeet Kune Do. That's what, take what works, leave the rest. That's what you want to do with your trading. And finally, the third piece of advice that I want to give you is to test, and do more testing. So you found this guy that you want to model, and that makes a lot of sense to you. Actually go and put in the work of testing what it is that they've done. Don't just like take that, oh, this guy wrote this book and clearly it works for them, so I'm just going to follow what they do and put that money into the market. No, I learned that the hard way as well, because you might read and have the book knowledge, but actually having the book knowledge and to do the studying where you are back testing, like testing out the trades, making sure that it works, that it fits with you and your mindset and your methodology. Doing that on paper or demo trading first might sound like, oh man, like I don't want to go through that extra time, but better to go through it for free versus putting money at work and kind of hoping for the best. Most people do that. Most people fall flat on their face, and that was another lesson that I learned the hard way. So forward testing is great. Forward testing when you don't have money on the line is even better while you're still figuring out the mechanics. And then once you finally do have this methodology that you are satisfied with, then start easing into it. If you say you have 100 grand, right? Like, don't start with 100 grand and putting that all in after you've just learned this stuff. Maybe you start with 10. If you're somebody that's just starting out with 10, maybe you start with 1,000, right? Whatever the number is that isn't going to kill you if you lose the whole thing, but it'll sting a little bit if you lose it. That's the number, that's the amount of capital that you want to start with when you go into trading. So that way you could start to feel the other nuances of actually having money on the line when you go and place your trades. And when you do this back testing, you'll have so much more confidence in your execution versus if you simply read the book and you're like, yeah, I know that, great, let me put money into it. You're going to have a rough time. So again, figure out your goal, model success, and test. Now, if you're not already a subscriber to this channel, click that little subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you're going to get notified as soon as another video pops up. Drop comments below. Let me know any questions that you have, and give me a thumbs up on this video. That really helps promote the channel. It promotes the word. And if you have any other questions at all, I'm here. I want to serve you. I want to see you do well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.